Well met, lords and ladies, and welcome to the Throne Room. This is episode 16 of the video game podcast that may forever change your fealty. I'm the host that never burns his toast, David Klingel, and I am joined by some other noble gameplay aficionados. Anre Borges-Brown, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
And Ken Doman, glad to have you, as always.
Yeah, glad to be here, as always.
So, what is new in your life this week, and what are you guys playing?
I don't know. Anre, you want to start? I think you were just testing out some stuff.
Yeah, testing out more streaming capabilities with my new beast of a laptop. Which you don't really need a beast of a laptop to do the type of streaming that I was doing. You just need a laptop made after the turn of the century, and now I have one. So, yeah, just doing a test here. Probably gonna do another one later today. We're playing some Guilty Gear with my boy Omen. I think I won that, pretty good. But he was coming back at the end, so we'll see tonight. It's always good when there's parity. As long as I'm, a couple steps ahead in this parity, as I like to be. David knows. Playing more Fellsteel Arbiter's Mark. Looking forward to an observatory this week with Mountain Blade. With just but mainly I've been playing Fellsteel. Playing more of that. It's just great how it just builds upon itself. It's just a great RPG.
Cool.
Really is. Talked a lot about it last week, so I won't go into further detail. But RPGs and games in general, but RPGs especially, it's very important that just when you not start to get stale, but just when you're like, okay, I've seen everything, I kind of know what's going on. I'm in a rhythm. It throws something else at you, whether that be a new class or a new party member or the story switching up.
Okay.
Fellsteel does that well, so I'm loving it.
Awesome. But you can.
Don't have too much new. I've still been hitting Destiny 2 pretty hard. Got through all the seasonal stuff for the Solstice event. Did a raid earlier today, so that's always a good time.
Raid.
Yep, did some Vaulted Glass, and Ratchet and Clank still been going through that game. Loving that game. I'm glad I'm kind of savoring it. Like, I don't want to just blast through it and be done. I'm like, want to make the most of it, and I feel like I'm pretty far into the game now. I've got, like, my whole gun wheel is full. I've got a lot of guns. Ooh. And so I'm having a lot of fun with that game. So
speaking of raids, did you guys know that Raid Shadow Legend has a new character? Did you know that?
No,
I did not.
Did you know that Raid Shadowland's new character is none other than Fortnite's Ninja?
What?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, I read an article sometime last week, and it said Ninja's getting his own video game character, and I opened it up, and it's fucking mobile Raid Shadowlands that nobody plays. I don't know. It's pretty hilarious. Maybe okay. Some people probably play it.
Oh yeah,
but
I've only heard about it at the beginning of videos like this one. I thought you were launching into a new advertisement.
No.
Is he still a big deal?
That was an advertisement for raids, because it seems like Raid Shadowlands will take all the advertisement they can get. So much that JonTron does it for him too.
I mean, everybody does it, so I wouldn't be surprised if they hit us up.
Hey, Raid, you owe us some fucking money. All right, Raid Shadowlands. We just
we'll send you a bill for services rendered for fucking making fun of your mobile game that nobody plays but everyone plays because it's always at the beginning of the video. We'll send you a bill for however much publicity we have garnered. Minus the amount of shit we talked.
Yeah, so you're gonna get a check for $0, but we're gonna send it. So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So this week for me, my son, he started doing something really cute, something new and really just cute. He started climbing out of his crib, and man, wow, was that
it's
just
on
like
now
the darndest thing ever? Yeah. So man, I was like, that's really cool that he can do that. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, how are we gonna sleep at night without this little dude? climbing out of his crib and trying to come into our bed or whatever. So
Now, I don't know much about the cribs for the stage he is in. Does this crib have a ceiling?
No, I think you can.
Like a flat.
I think that's called
a cage. Is my son a prisoner, Anre? No, I don't. He's not.
At night.
I don't keep him hostage at night, bro. No.
At night, a crib can transform into a cage to give the parents some sleep. Is all I'm saying.
Right?
Okay, so you're saying that your child isn't a slave laborer at this stage in his life?
No. He sleeps on the mattress.
Oh, so my son needs to be in prison while yours can lay freely under the stars. I love it.
Your son has learned how to escape his
indenturement.
His domain, and now he needs a stronger, more secure domain.
Actually, I'm not disagreeing with you.
That's all I'm saying.
Probably the smart way to go. So I'm gonna think about. I'm gonna see what I can do about that. Yeah. Thanks for that, man.
No.
Your son's escaping. Build a ceiling.
I'll tell you like this. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Here's how I look at it. It's only insane if it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
but if you look on Amazon or Walmart or wherever you want to go, and you find a crib with a ceiling, then it's not insane because it exists and it's a product and people buy it.
That's true.
And they probably buy it for much the same reason as I brought it up.
Yeah,
yes, as you would need it.
Well, I'm gonna go to Amazon right after this, so I'll let you know what I find. I was
we'll
thinking you're not wrong. I mean, some people, at some point in someone's life, they thought, hey, a leash works for a dog, right? Let me just put one on my child.
Kid.
So if with that same mindset, couldn't you also say a kennel works for a dog, right? I love it. It's brilliant.
That's literally what
sheer brilliance. I gotta find this guy and send him a check for $0 for his amazing ideas of leash dogs and kennel babies. So we'll get to you.
I mean, a daycare is basically just a kennel for children.
No, it's a zoo. I would say a zoo for children. Because it's open and they can run around in their contained area.
Oh, kennels are not open?
No, kennels are. They got their own little cages, bro.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I didn't know. I never put my dog in a kennel.
Yeah. Have you ever had it on?
Yeah.
Oh.
Either if we didn't go, if she didn't go, we didn't go.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bro, that's very Last of Us. Mm-hmm. Wow, love it.
Last point. The sides of the crib are to keep the baby or the toddler from getting out and hurting himself, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm just saying, add a little more of that.
Yeah,
that's
all. That's all you need. Yeah,
keep them from getting out.
All right, so
and hurting them.
All right, everyone, just so you know, Anre is asking us to raise the ceiling on cribs.
Yep.
Pun intended. So, I've been playing more Wildermyth, and that's been fun. I've gotten through. Well, actually, I got through the tutorial campaign, and Anre watched me finish that.
I did, yeah.
And what'd you think?
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
I think it has a whole lot of potential. I like it. The style would take some getting used to. Because it's like even more indie than a lot of indie because it just feels that way because of the paper thing. But I'm sure you get used to it. And
I thought that too.
King,
it was a little weird for me too. Like I thought that it was going to take me a while to get used to this art style. But it didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would. After like a couple of battles, you're like, okay, let's go. You're into it. Yeah. So, and even what you saw wasn't like the height of the difficulty the game could be. And I'm in the next campaign now, and it's 5 chapters long. The first tutorial mission or campaign being 3 chapters long. This one's 5, and I'm in 4, and I'm like sweating. Like there's some crazy battles that really push the boundaries of you being tactful. Tactically
Tactile.
inclined, tactile. Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
it's really having fun with it, and especially as it gets further on, it gets even more and more fun. So, yeah, really enjoying that. So, that's what I've been playing, and that's what I'm gonna keep playing.
Don't you have some big news though, David? Don't you have something that might be coming in the
don't
mail?
we have some news for
I
the
do,
loyal listeners?
but they're gonna have to wait because that's coming
Oh,
as a very important tip of the crown. So
nice.
I will say that the smart listeners, the attentive, because all our listeners are smart, but the attentive listeners might be able to figure it out
maybe,
more than
Based
on context clues.
maybe,
Okay.
and we'll see. Otherwise, we're giving out a well-deserved tip of the crown.
But it's not my news to break
Later in the episode, and we're gonna do that. All right, on to topic of the show. Is a new contender entering the handheld arena? The most gaming power you have ever held. Steam recently announced their new hardware, the $400 Steam Deck, which is an impressive handheld gaming PC that can seemingly play any game that can be found in Steam's impressive library. Now, it's similar to the Nintendo Switch in that it can fit into a dock that will project the gameplay on a television. It sounds like a really cool piece of equipment. I'd like to start off by saying, what's that?
Or monitor.
Or monitor.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. So I want to say that I believe that a space actually belongs for both of these devices. You'll only be able to play Nintendo games on a Nintendo Switch. So they'll continue to keep the market they have for both Nintendo fans as well as younger children's entertainment. That being said, I also believe the Steam Deck is a great answer for someone who needs to get into gaming for PC, but they just can't afford the high cost of a decent PC rig. I see the Steam Deck as just a happy, healthy addition to the other consoles in a person's home, sitting nice and cozy next to your PS5. But I have to ask your opinions. Is Valve trying to start a war?
No, I don't think they're starting a war.
I don't think they're starting. I think they're just they're building their portfolio. I think this is more about them and less about anyone else in that space. I will say, if they do declare war on Nintendo, then they'll win it seconds after they do, because they absolutely murdered the Switch OLED, which would already came out of the gates limping hard, taking shots and L's, and we talked about it through like mostly not much their fault, no fault of their own. But the Switch OLED is like $350. Am I correct?
Yes, it is. Yep.
And the Steam Deck, the cheapest version, because there are more versions with higher storage capacity, and the highest, I believe, has an OLED screen of its own. It's only $50 more. And unlike the Switch Pro, who people thought, 4K, like we talked about this, right? 4K output, it's going to be more powerful. Switch Pro, and people were salivating, look what they could do with the Breath of the Wild 2. Secret to the greatest thing ever, apparently. But no, it's just a Switch that looks better, has some nice quality of life features. New hardware is never bad. It's always good, right? It's better than the normal Switch. But they came out and they said, for $50 more, you can get a freaking modern PC with that plays modern games.
Any game we have, any game that we have in the library, you can play it on this thing.
Now, Anre, my counterpoint to that is that every portable generation, Nintendo has been the underdog with their hardware, because they had the Game Boy versus the Game Gear. The Game Gear was better hardware; it was a color screen. Nintendo, they trounced them. They won that generation. And then with the PSP, they had the DS at the time? And it wasn't even close. The PSP was definitely a more powerful system. It had everything going for it, and Nintendo still won. And now we've got, then the Vita. The Vita was a great system. It was much more powerful. It was almost like a portable PS3 at the time. And the 3DS beat it again. So I don't think
the
Nintendo's
Vita,
worried.
I
Yeah.
believe until the Switch Deck comes out.
Steam Deck.
The Switch Deck has some or Switch Deck, yeah. The Steam Deck has some issues that we'll see when it comes out. But I believe the Vita is still the most impressive handheld to date. I was thrown off a little by your use of the word underdog because in the handheld space,
as far as
Nintendo's
hardware,
never the underdog.
we're talking about hardware specs. Like if you're looking at them,
Yeah.
one for one, yeah, they should be the underdog. Is what I'm saying. Because if you look at these on paper, there's no way Nintendo should beat that competition.
Well, it depends on if the paper says, "Hey, this is made by Nintendo" or not. Because yeah, you're right. The Vita specs are way more impressive than any handheld that Nintendo has, except for the Switch.
I can't believe the Game Boy beat the. I mean, the Game Gear. I remember that thing looked awesome. It was like, wow, it was a full color screen. You know, this was 8-bit.
Well, Nintendo beat them the way they beat everyone else with first party.
Yes,
they did. Pokemon. They had Pokemon, and
and Mario and
Zelda.
all that. Yeah.
Zelda. I mean,
and they still have that, and that they still have their audience that I don't think is going anywhere. But I think what Valve did is they saw what the Switch did, and they're like, why can't we do that for the PC? It's like Nintendo has their thing.
And I think somebody said because it's not possible because there's too much power packed, and they were like, well, we'll just throw more money at it until it is possible, and here we are.
Yeah,
I can't believe it. Like people understand. Like everybody gets annoyed. Nintendo has their fans, but they get annoyed at the fact that they're always lacking in power compared to the big two, the other two. They're part of the big three. It's the big three, but they're always lacking, right? But the Switch, nobody complains about that. And you know why? Because it's portable.
Right.
So people understand that you're going to get less power when it's portable.
But not only that, not only that I agree, but not only that, their games don't require that power.
No.
But I agree, but they don't require it because they don't. It's kind of like a chicken and egg thing. Like, do they not require it so they don't have that power, or do they not have that power so they didn't make games that have that type of power and necessity?
I mean, that's a good question, but I think they make the hardware to fit exactly the needs of the games they want to make.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I don't think they're trying to make Grand Theft Auto Pokemon. You know, like I don't think it's a big deal for them. I think they have exactly the amount of power that they need. You know.
I'm sorry, I just picture it like Pikachu carjacking you.
Yeah, that's good.
But no, what all I'm saying is like this generation, the Switch generation for Nintendo, nobody complains except when there's a rumored Switch Pro, and now there's not a Switch Pro. But nobody complained for the majority of the generation about the lack of power, like they did with the Wii U, like they did with the Wii, like they did with the GameCube. Even going back there, when the GameCube was not that underpowered, but because it's like, okay, well, this is on the go. Can you take your PS3? Can you take your PS4 on the go? Can you take your Xbox One? No. So it's like, okay, we sacrificed power for portability, and the Switch has stuff that you don't, and that's why the Switch is. A lot of people think it's the best way to play indie games. You know, everybody loves playing first party games on the Switch, first party Nintendo games. They understand that's a trade off, and now Gabe Newell and Steam are just like, what if you don't have to make that trade off? What if you don't have to sacrifice it?
Yeah.
What if you can have PS4, Xbox One level graphics, you know,
in your hands,
on the go, and then come back, dock
it's still there,
play 4K, you know, and you have your amazing game that just released.
So not only that,
their game, like Battlefield 1940 or 2042, that's not coming on the Switch. So there's no fucking way.
A lot of people that don't know, this is a point that was impressive to me to piggyback off that. It's Steam and Steam Cloud Saves. So even if you take this console, this Steam Deck, and you go off on a train and play it for 2 days, and you come back from a trip, you can set it down and it's already updated. The save is there on your computer, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a great option as well for people who love PC gaming and they don't want to pack a laptop with them to play the
Right.
game they've been playing for a week. They can take the Steam Deck with them and resume and just play. It's saved. There's no, I got to transfer my save from this hard drive to the next so I can play it and then do it again. It's, hey, I'm just going to take it. I'm going to play my game again, get home, set it down, and it's here again. That's pretty awesome.
And to be clear, to be even more clear than David just was, it's not just, okay, it saves it when it's handheld mode and then you dock it and it's there. It's that, yeah. But also, you could have it somewhere on a train or whatever and then come back and be at your desktop that has nothing to do with your game deck or whatever it's called, Steam Deck, and log into Steam and your saves are right there. Everything
I
is
just
there.
said
All you have
that.
to have is
Did
the
I not
game.
say
Yeah,
that?
I know. I'm just
As long as
that's
you're on
why I said
Wi-Fi.
more.
Yeah.
That's why I said
Okay.
more clear.
I just making sure.
Because it saves to the cloud, so it's like you can have it anywhere. You can have it.
Yeah. Before we go any further,
it's legitimately impressive.
That's awesome.
I've got the specs right here, and I noticed some interesting things in here. So I'm gonna go through all the specs of the Steam Deck, and I'm gonna pick out a few things that I think are kind of neat in here.
Okay.
So first of all, you have the processor. It's an AMD APU, a Zen 2 that goes up to 448 gigaflops. Then you have the GPU. It's 8 RDNA 2 CUs that can do 1.6 teraflops. So yeah, we're talking power here more than like PS4 level, that they have portable. You have 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM. So pretty good RAM. I mean, that's very fast. Dual channel, let's see, 5500 MT per second. So then storage, this is where it differentiates the different tiers. So you have like the entry level at 64 gig. That's pretty small for a PC. And that's right in parity with the OLED Switch.
Now,
64 gig.
Pausing. That's fine if you're not playing all of your games on this, right?
Right.
Because you can read the cloud saves are there. It's Steam, so you can uninstall something and then reinstall it, and it doesn't matter. So that's fine. It's not very big, but because of the uniqueness of it being the Steam platform and those saves are happening, while you're not even thinking about them, it's just saving them to any platform you're playing it on, PC wise. 64 gigs really doesn't matter, so that's cool.
Right. Depends on what you're using.
Unless you're playing Call of Duty, because I don't know what it is on any other thing, but my God, it's like PS5 just had a new Call of Duty update. It's 30 gigs. I'm like, that's more than most games. Come on.
And I don't think that kind of game
Activision
might not be meant for this thing. Although the other two tiers, you got the 256 gig, and it bumps up to an NVMe, so it's a faster SSD. Yeah, so that's gonna be quite a bit faster when you bump up to the 256, and that runs $529, so $529.
And I think if you're really trying to I was thinking about this earlier about the different tiers before you go to the next one. If you're really trying, if you're someone who can't afford a high-end PC, but you want something that's going to last and really play anything you want, I think the middle tier is perfect for anyone that wants a PC replacement. The $400 one is great for if you're already a PC gamer but you want to take it on the go, in my opinion. And then let's get on to the what's up?
Yeah. Oh, or if you're into indie games, I think the 64 gig is great. If you want to kind of do the indie game thing,
definitely.
It's perfect.
I mean, it's like Switch but better.
Exactly.
Because there are more games.
100%.
And all of the best indie games are on PC. That's where they start, and then they get moved to these other platforms after they garner some success. So
unless there's a deal beforehand, Unless Sony or Microsoft says, "Hey, I like what I'm seeing here. I like you. Come over here. Don't go anywhere else." But even then, it's very rare that it just goes to the console. It usually goes to one console and PC.
Yeah, I played more indie games since I've been playing on my PC, since I haven't had a PlayStation. Mm-hmm. I've been playing a shitload of indie games that just came to the PC, and they're working on getting it to PlayStation one day. And then, basically what that means is one day, I already played and beat the crap out of Dead Cells, for instance, but eventually it's going to come to the Switch. And then so that's the kind of situation we're in. So, all right, next phase.
Sure. Hades as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's coming.
Man,
Uh,
amazing game. Let's
So,
stop a second. Let's take a
let me-
let's take a moment of silence for
Appreciate Hades.
one of the
Yeah.
best games ever made, Hades. So, okay, thank you. All right.
There we go.
let me just throw some questions, some concerns
Yeah.
I have about
Let's
this.
hear it.
Firstly,
Oh wait, what are your concerns about? Can he finish the last tier, or is this about the middle tier? Can he finish the last tier real quick?
this is about all of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Let him finish then. So go ahead. Go with the last tier.
Okay. The creme de la creme is the 512 gig, and that's also on an NVMe, and it comes with a couple of little extras, like I think a screen protector, comes with some Steam.
Now it comes
digital-
with the OLED screen, right?
Oh, the OLED
No.
screen.
I don't
No?
see anywhere.
Okay.
None of them have an OLED.
Okay.
It is an optically bonded IPS LCD, and that's the same for all of them.
Okay.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Switch one. All right, get rid of your Steam Decks. Get on up because that OLED screen's saving handhelds today. All right. So what's your concern, Anre?
Yeah.
What?
So, firstly, barely can call it a handheld at this point. It's monstrous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's monstrous, and sometimes that's good, and other times I just want to know, like, how can you fit this in your pocket?
No.
No,
Like,
probably not.
yes.
I'm imagining it's the size of it. From what I've seen in the pictures, it looks like a what's the Sega one? What was it called again? I had one. The Sega.
Game
Gear?
Gear? Yeah, it's like a Game
It
Gear.
looks like
yeah.
the size,
Gear?
not as thick. It's thinner, but it's about the same.
It's
Length
beefy.
as yeah.
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 So I mean, the bigger it gets, right? And it seems like it's not that big of an issue, but the bigger it gets, the less portable it becomes, and the more it's just like, well,
Yeah.
what differentiates it from a PC?
And
The
to
price
give-
point, obviously.
Yeah, right.
You
Yeah,
know.
and it comes. All three of them come with, I think, a carrying case, so you do get that with it. But yeah, it's not going to be a pocketable thing. There are a few other specs here though that I think are kind of neat. With like the gamepad, it has two track pads on
Yeah, I
it on
noticed
either
that.
side.
That's interesting.
And
the other side.
and these are let's see, it says it has 55% better latency compared to the Steam controller, and they're pressure sensitive.
So it's like a
for
mouse. touchpad
configurable
mouse.
click strength. Yeah, so that's
Wow.
kind of neat. A little extra thing in there.
That is cool. That's like real quick. That
yeah.
is like necessary for PC gaming. You have to be able to have
Yeah.
a cursor that you can click things with, even if it's
Right.
just an indie game. Wildermyth, for example, whatever it's fucking called.
Yeah.
You need to click stuff, and
I'm Team Wildermyth.
yeah, thank you. I'm with it. We're going with that from now on. So to have the ability to do everything a typical controller would do, but then also have the ability to do something that a PC would do in the same little pocket right there at your fingertips. Brilliant. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
It'd be really cool. And I noticed that the analog sticks, they have capacitive touch built into the thumbsticks.
What?
That's kind of different. Yeah. It's like I didn't see anybody mentioning that, and I'm noticing it on the specs here. I was like, that's kind of cool.
So what does that
I don't
mean?
know-
Like you can
Could you
have your
explain that
finger
to me?
on the thumbstick, but you can lightly touch it and like
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Because capacitive touch, that's just like a touch screen, like on your phone or something. So you don't have to push in. You could just do a light touch and have kind of a separate input method in there.
wow.
Or like maybe you could just like kind of double tap the thumbstick to do a different move or something. Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's little cool extras in there, and then it has the 6-axis gyroscope in it, so it will detect your motion just like
6-axis, make it a
6-axis,
comeback.
like the PS3 controller or
Yeah.
a lot of
the
systems have
PS
had that. Yeah,
Yeah,
or the
PS4.
Wii remote, same kind of thing where it's got that gyroscope sensor in there. And I saw they're going to use that with like first-person shooters and stuff to kind of fine-tune. So you don't have like a regular mouse. But let's say you're aiming and you aim with a thumbstick and you do kind of a fine-tune with like a really subtle move of the whole system. So I think it's kind of cool. I like to see how that works in practice because I think that could be kind of neat.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's 2 back buttons on either side.
It does.
It also has like 2 other buttons below it. Yeah.
There are four extra buttons on the back. So you have your L1, L2, R1, R2, and then you have the L3, R3, which are the thumbsticks, and then an L4, L5,
R4,
yeah.
R5.
Yeah, so you got
Yeah.
4 extra buttons that you can kind of assign
Map.
to other
Yeah.
things.
Just in
Map
case
it.
you're
Yeah.
piloting an actual spaceship.
Yeah, or you could probably program macros in there, do all
Bro,
kinds.
I don't know if
So,
you've heard about
yeah.
the new spaceship that Jeffrey Bezos is going up on, but you don't even need buttons because there isn't a pilot.
Nah.
It's automatically flying up there autopilot. So yeah,
Hopefully.
throw that Steam Deck away. You don't need any buttons, bro. Just
Nah.
just strap in and go to space, man.
Nope.
Crazy. But yeah, that was pretty funny because they have the old ones have a million buttons on them.
Yeah.
A million.
But I think that's cool. Then you got the resolution. It's 1280 by 800, so a little bit more than a 720, like slightly a little more.
I
Then
said
we
1080 earlier. It's 720 basically.
yeah, basically 720. It's a 7-inch screen though, so right in line with the OLED Switch, same exact size. 400 nits, so pretty good brightness. 60 hertz, so you're pretty much capped at 60 frames on that, no matter what, because that's just what the display can handle. It's got an ambient light sensor, so I guess it could adjust the screen brightness based on if
I
you're
haven't been a
outside,
PC
inside.
nerd long enough
Yeah.
to give a shit about anything above 60 frames per second.
It-
I know there's a lot of people. Oh,
Exactly.
you can't do anything if it's not 120 frames.
On a portable, I'm not gonna be complaining at 60 frames.
Anything
That's
90 and
pretty
below is basically a slideshow. Like, no, I haven't been indoctrinated that far quite yet.
good. But it's got Bluetooth 5.0 and it supports like full controller support, so you can play with your PS5 controller, your Xbox
Yeah,
controller,
okay. Wow.
whatever,
Yeah.
Steam controller, whatever. The Wi-Fi I thought was interesting. It doesn't have Wi-Fi 6. It's limited to the Wi-Fi 5 gigahertz, the AC band. So
That's fine.
not quite bleeding edge, but it's fine. Stereo sound, got the dual microphone array built into it, so it does have a mic right there. Got the headphone jack. It's got a multi-channel audio via DisplayPort over USB-C and a standard USB-C port on it. So that's pretty cool. I'm that's a given at this point. USB-C is like it's what you got to use.
Yeah.
Then let's see the dimensions. It's in millimeters, so I'm not quite sure. 298 by 117 by 49. So that's dimensions on it. It's pretty good beefy size. Yeah.
Big.
And 669 grams. So I wish this converted that. I'm not sure. I'm used to American measurement. I don't know how many pounds that is, but and then the OS. It comes with Steam OS 3.0, but Valve has said you can install Linux on this. You can install Windows 10. You're free to kind of do what you want.
They said you could make it a glorified Xbox. So
Glorified, they said you could make it this.
they said you don't need to buy an Xbox.
Really don't.
Well,
I
to
mean,
be fair, Xbox said that years ago
Yeah.
Oof,
when they said all of their games are going to be released on PC.
Well,
so
it pretty much is a portable
it really
Xbox.
is a portable Xbox.
Mm.
Since there is no that's what I'm saying. That what you said earlier, David, is correct. If you want to play Breath of the Wild 2, for instance, you got to play a Nintendo Switch. You got to do that on Switch. If you want to play, Microsoft Flight Simulator, or whatever the hell they got over there, then as long as this can run it, you can get a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
You can play it on Steam. Actually, that game came out on
Yeah.
PC before it came out on.
I don't know if this Steam Deck would handle Flight Sim. It's pretty. It requires some beastly.
Yeah, it's
spec.
it's pretty crazy if you have.
I wanted to ask you when you're done, because I have a few questions.
Yeah.
Do you think, what is the most graphically intensive? What is the level of game you think this could run?
I think it can play every game. You might not be playing it on the max settings. You might be playing them on high settings, right? But it can play. They're claiming it can play every game.
Yeah,
that exists on the library right now.
You could load up Cyberpunk on this,
Yeah.
and I think it would work. Yeah,
I think you could do probably high settings on Cyberpunk with it, for sure. And I'll tell you what, the Steam Deck. I'll put my words down on this. Steam Deck could probably play Cyberpunk 2077 on high settings better than the PlayStation 4 did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it'll handle it much better.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
Well,
No doubt.
It can't really
No?
be much worse. Well, the
Yeah.
Xbox One
It could
actually
be.
was worse,
Yeah.
but it can't get much worse than the Xbox One, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I put my $5
The
down.
PS4 was not that much
Yeah, so
better.
you got one coming, huh? You're getting
Yeah.
one.
The 256. I'm like, you know what?
That's
It's
the middle one?
refundable.
That's the middle
the
one,
middle
right?
one.
Yep.
Middle tier. Because I
Middle.
figure I can install probably 3, 4, 5 PC games on that. It's got the SD card if I want to add more storage. So I don't need the 512, I don't think. I did want that NVMe for the speed on it,
Yeah.
because that's really the only difference
Yeah.
on this thing. Yeah. So
But I think it's
figure
worth
that's a
it.
Pretty good point.
I think it's worth
I think
it,
so.
yeah.
Because I was looking at upgrading my PC this year, and I think I'm gonna kind of put that on pause. Because if I get this system, this portable PC, I think it might kind of scratch that itch for having kind of some new PC hardware to play around with.
Yeah,
So,
no kidding. So we're in a little bit of a different boat real quick. I thought about this. I'm probably not going to get one. I have a high-end PC. I don't need it. Now, if I did, it would be because, well, and I have a high-end gaming laptop as well. So if I really want to take a game with me, I'll just take my laptop. But in your position, it's perfect because you needed an upgrade and you don't want to spend for it. So this is perfect for that, man. And honestly, I would have probably said the same thing for you, Anre. You know, if you hadn't just bought a nice higher end laptop, I'd have been like, man, this is a perfect solution to not spend a lot of money and still game with me, on PC.
Yeah. Yeah, I needed that laptop for reasons other than gaming.
Exactly.
If it were just gaming, I probably wouldn't have upgraded it.
Exactly.
But since I was getting a new laptop, I did want, I got, like you said, I got 3080.
Yep. Perfect.
The Beast, it should be good for at least 5 years.
yeah.
Should be able to play everything.
Yep.
And I'm not, like, I love the Vita. I think you're in the same boat, David. You love the Vita, but we ended up not playing it as much as we could have because, like, when you're at home, well, we had our PS4s, right? And when you're on the go, we just don't live in the type of city.
Yeah. We're driving to work. We can't.
Yeah,
We can't handheld play and
train.
if
Yeah.
you're
I
on
do
a
a lot of
train or a
things
bus,
while
yeah.
I'm driving, man. I do a lot of things while I'm driving that I probably shouldn't, but you just can't.
Playing
play a
games
video
ain't one
game.
of them, you
You
know.
can't play a video game, man.
That'd be funny if a cop pulled you over. They're like, "Hey, I saw you were playing Grand Theft Auto 5 while driving." Oh man, this is a new one for me, but I gotta write you a ticket still.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that. I'm looking in the book.
It's not texting, but I don't think
Yeah.
I think it's worse.
Seems
I'm
much
gonna put it under
worse.
texting though. Is that okay?
Put it under texting. I think that's the best way.
Golly. Well, yeah.
It's better
So
for you, to be honest.
I was really impressed by this, man. Awesome Steam, awesome Valve. I'm really excited for you guys. It's a feat. It's awesome. Really cool. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to check it out with my own hands. Like I said, I probably won't buy one, but who knows? Maybe down the road I might.
When it comes out, I'll give the full review. We'll do it right on here on the podcast.
Stoked.
Yeah. Yep.
That'd be awesome.
Be on the lookout for that when this releases.
All right,
Yeah.
just as a reminder, if everyone is enjoying the show, you can head over to patreon.com/CrownKingMedia and support us for just $1 a month, which will help us improve and create some awesome new stuff. So it's time to talk some industry news. Netflix snags former EA Oculus exec to head its video game efforts. According to The Verge, a report from the spring from this information said that Netflix was seeking an executive to lead its push into gaming, with an eye forward offering Apple Arcade or Xbox Game Pass-like subscription bundle. Now, as first reported by Bloomberg, the streaming company has hired Mike Verdu as its vice president of game development, reporting to Coup. Greg Peters, a Netflix spokesperson, confirmed the hire to The Verge. According to Bloomberg, Netflix could offer games right next to other streaming content, quote, within the next year, listed as a new genre just like documentaries or anything else, without charging extra for the experience. What do you guys think of this?
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I was not told. I mean, this was kind of like middling news for me. It's like, okay, because I heard rumors about this for a while. Middling news, just about everyone has Netflix. I never planned on gaming on Netflix, so I'm like, I don't care. I'm sure this excites some people. I'm going to play. But we have to mention that they some intrepid, internet sleuths have data mined Netflix's like their code in conjunction with this announcement, and have found images relating to PlayStation, most notably the DualSense, and an image of Jin from Ghost of Tsushima, and that has started a wildfire of speculation
Yeah.
that Netflix and Sony might partner up. And this, to me, is bigger than the Steam Deck. It's bigger news. If this, in fact, just the rumor is bigger than actually Steam Deck being confirmed, because if the thing that was holding Amazon and Google back getting into the game space,
They didn't have the partnership
is
with
they don't
anyone.
know how to make they don't know how to make games, right? Like it's difficult. It's they have the money, right? They don't know how to make games. They have the infrastructure. They don't know how to make games. Sony, even though they spent all that money for Gaikai, if you remember, they spent a whole bunch of money. I
Oh
think,
yeah.
like maybe $500 million or something. They spent a lot of money. At the beginning of the PS4 generation, they have the games, they have the know-how, the team, all of that, the teams, the studios, but they've let Microsoft completely lap them when it comes to streaming. They have PlayStation Now, and the thing about PlayStation Now is you got to be connected to the internet. Every game just about is streaming. It's just it's not nearly as popular. It's barely even competition when it comes to Xbox Game Pass. But if they got together and the Netflix executives, including this new one, and the Sony executives did this smartly, they could absolutely dominate.
Yeah.
Everybody has Netflix, right? And these Sony studios and Sony IP are so ubiquitous within gaming that if they partner together, it could be
Netflix could make PlayStation shows,
Mm.
and vice versa. And I'll tell you something here. I do know that there are gaming industry professionals working at Netflix now. Let's mention, first of all, I know that they have artists, game artists, working for Love, Death, and Robots for Netflix, making art and things. There are people that are already working for Netflix that are interested in video games. That's honestly what it is. So this to me is ringing some bells, saying, "Hey, okay, we're partnering with Sony. Maybe Sony helps us make games, and we use some of our people. And then there's Netflix exclusive games that are also playable through PlayStation, type of deal. Yeah, this could be nuts. This could get crazy real quick. Yeah, they could own the world of entertainment, to a certain degree.
Netflix,
Well,
I mean,
Mr.
they don't
Mouse has
stop,
something
man.
to say about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
you're right.
What's that?
But how Netflix keeps growing. Like they started out just mailing disc in the mail. They branched out into streaming, and then they said we're going to make our own content for streaming. Spent a ton of money on their own content. I think they have reached kind of that saturation point, and it's like, well, where do they go next? And that's where this
Exclusive
is
content, and they were already doing that with shows, right? Exclusive
Right.
content. We got Netflix originals, right? And then other streaming services are like, oh man, we got to do that too. We got to have our Hulu originals and our Amazon originals and whatever, right? And now, they could be right alongside PlayStation with making exclusives, Netflix, PlayStation exclusives. I really see that as a possibility for sure.
And here's the difference.
Wait, real quick. Here's the beauty of it too. What can you do on an Xbox? You can log into Netflix.
Netflix.
right.
What could you do with this service? Log into Netflix and play Netflix PlayStation exclusives on your. That's pretty.
Well, they
little
could
crazy.
Easily disable that if they wanted to.
They're feeling a little salty about it. Sure. For right now, if that's the way that this is going and that was possible, that's what would happen. So they'd have to disable Netflix, and then now they're putting themselves in a really bad position because now you're telling people, yeah, sure, the Xbox you've been using to watch your Netflix movies, sorry, you're not going to be able to do that anymore, and we don't care. And that's going to put them in a bad position. If they did
Netflix,
that.
some of their titles, they have some interactive kind of movies now. I think they had a
I've seen a few.
Minecraft story mode, and they had Black Mirror Bandersnatch. It was kind of a choose your own adventure kind of show, and it would not play on certain devices. So I have an Apple TV. It will not play on an Apple TV, and that seems very intentional that they did not want it to work on that, like Apple did. So it could be the same deal where on your Xbox,
that's what I was thinking more of. Yeah.
It's like it'll still play your movies and your shows, but if you try to play the game,
then it can block it. You know,
right?
And I just got another thought too, real quick. It's saying lead their video game efforts, and it's like rumors. It's like a Game Pass type thing. But what if it's not just that? I mean, what do we know of Netflix? Netflix is film. Netflix is documentaries. What if they're having a game section where they're interviewing and having documentaries about certain games being made, and they're adding that stuff in too? It's not just a game subscription service. It's Netflix game. You go there to see everything gaming. We got documentaries. We went and visited Naughty Dog while they were making God of War. PlayStation's basically saying, hey, we're letting you be our documentary person to show the inside of what's going on in some of our operations. What do you think of that? I mean, I think that's entirely possible.
Yeah.
Possibilities are limitless. I don't know if they need this type of partnership just for that. I think they could do that anytime. But you know, the closer you get, the more likely something like that is. The closer two companies get, the more likely something like that is to happen. I mean, I just think that if Netflix has good code, as good streaming code, as you know, they have the money and they have the subscribers.
The bandwidth too.
Yeah, the bandwidth. That's exactly what.
Yeah.
And the beauty of this is the difference between this and Game Pass, right? Like first of all, we don't know what this is. Game Pass is an additional service you buy in order to play games. This would be, it's like it's not free, but it's something you're already paying for, right? That's why they call PlayStation Plus games. They're like, oh, they're free games. They're not free games, but you are already going to pay for PS Plus. You're already going to play online, right? So it's an additional service at no extra charge. If Netflix is able to do anything like get like PS Now on Netflix at no extra charge and make PS Now actually work better most of the time, more times, then it's a game changer.
Yeah. Could be.
That's a good point.
And I think streaming it, like they stream movies and shows where it doesn't really need that instant feedback. That ping time doesn't really matter. Like lag doesn't really matter for them. Now, if they get into games, that's going to change. Like their net code will have to be really optimized for that. And my problem because I've tried playing Stadia and I've played some xCloud and it works. And for certain kind of games, it's fine. But if you're playing like a fast-paced game, if you're playing a shooter, if you're playing a platformer or something, it's tough to get it to work well enough where it feels good.
So what I'll say is that is experimental, and Netflix won't do this unless it works.
Right.
Period.
And it may just be the type of games that come out for it too. If they're like, if it's turn-based kind of games, if it's puzzle games, stuff like that, I think it'd be great. Be fine. But is that what they're going for, or are they going for that PlayStation audience? Yeah. Maybe.
Well, like I said, they're not going to release. You're not going to see Netflix gaming, and then people are going to be like, "What? I can't even play this game on it. Why is this?" That's not going to happen. Yeah. The only way you're going to see Netflix gaming when you log into Netflix is if it's solid as a rock. Yeah, wholeheartedly believe that. So, well, cool. Looking forward to seeing how this develops. Next up, the official trailer dropped for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is a new platform fighting game featuring fan-favorite Nickelodeon characters. Its roster includes familiar faces from SpongeBob SquarePants, Rugrats, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Danny Phantom, Hey Arnold, Invader Zim, The Loud House, Real Monsters! One of my favorites. I love that show, man. Yeah. And more. Nickelodeon's new fighting game will feature 20 themed levels such as Jellyfish Fields from SpongeBob SquarePants and Teenage Mutant Ninja Technodrome. It'll also release both single-player and multiplayer game modes, allowing you to put your skills to the test in competitive matches online and local multiplayer for up to 4 players. Nickelodeon's All-Star Brawl releases in fall 2021 on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, and Nintendo Switch. Look, they did it, man. PlayStation has a Super Smash Brothers game now. This is exciting. Right, we've had some fakes. We've had some tryhards, you know.
How dare you besmirch the good name of PlayStation All-Stars?
Okay, well, I never got the opportunity to play it, so I'm not really besmirching it as much as I'm just disregarding it through the lack of my own inferiorities.
Yeah.
But even seeing the videos and things I have of All Stars, it doesn't look as tight as Super Smash Brothers has been, and to me, this looks like tight Super Smash Brothers gameplay with Nickelodeon characters. I mean, am I wrong?
It looks solid. Yeah. I mean, it looks like playing a cartoon. I mean,
yeah, it looks that way to me. And again, like you said, this is on PS4, PS5. So that'll be good for, you know, and Xbox. It'll be good for both of these guys who don't have access to Smash Brothers. Obviously, Nintendo, although they have iconic characters and a deep, rich history, still waiting for Keenan and Kel, but you know they said there'll be more. There'll be more. All of that characters, maybe Lori Beth Denberg, who knows? The Repairman, man.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't think if they're not animated that they probably won't put them in there, but
yeah,
we'll see. Anyway, but yeah, you know, I mean, Brawlhalla's on other games too, and I like that game. It's a very good game.
It is very good, but it's not Smash. You know, it's not. Yeah, it tries to be, and it's for what it is. It's good and it's fun, but it's just not. And I guess that's the point I'm trying to say. Love Brawlhalla, but I'll put that in like a separate, like similar category where it's different but similar. To me, this is Smash Brothers, and you're finally able to play it on your PlayStation. Is the point I'm trying to make. You know,
I think we should wait till we play it before saying it's Smash Brothers, because I think some of these other games, especially PlayStation All Stars, looked like Smash Brothers. They didn't play like it, and I think that's what a lot of people said. But yeah, they don't have the Nintendo characters that like they got a lot over there at Nickelodeon, not enough to make a game, which is impressive. Yeah, they don't have the Nintendo IP. So, but I'm excited about this game, man.
What's the release date? It says fall, or do we have a date, like an actual date when it comes out?
Just fall 2021 so far, but okay. Yeah, we'll hear something. It's almost fall.
It looks pretty fall. It looks pretty far along, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Are you gonna scoop it up? Gonna get it? Gonna buy it? Gonna buy it? You gonna get it?
I think we should try to get free copies of this one. I think we could probably make it happen. So
okay.
I don't know. We'll try. We'll see what happens. But I think this would be a fun game. I'm not gonna buy it day one, and if we somehow get a code and we can play it and do an observatory, hang out and play it for a while, that'd be fun. But might not buy it day one. See how it looks. See how people are regarding it. But if people are liking it and it's like Smash Brothers, I'd pick it up to play with you guys for sure. Got my boy Ickis, I'll play as Ickis, Crumb. I'll take Crumb.
Yeah.
I'll take Crumb. He'll probably have some cool stuff where he's like throwing his bouncy eyeballs at you like Mario's fireballs, but it I don't know. Be pretty cool.
I forgot her name.
Umblina?
Umblina. Yeah, I like her best.
Yeah, she's cool, man. And she's in there for sure, because I saw her in the trailer, but I don't know if Ickis and Crumb are in there because I didn't see them, but I'm sure they probably are.
They're going to have more people in there.
Yeah.
They said.
Is there a character off the top of your head that maybe hasn't been mentioned from Nickelodeon that you would love to see on this game? But either of you? Been a while. I'm trying to. I know all these staples. Hey Arnold. All Ninja Turtle. All this other stuff. But
Hey Arnold, Angry Beavers.
Oh man, Angry Beavers. That's what we need to see. Norbert and Daggett.
Invader Zim's in this game.
Oh yeah. So I'll play as him too for sure.
Norbert and Daggett.
Daggett.
Yeah.
Yep, love them. And Ren and Stimpy's already in there, so man, I
Really?
wouldn't doubt it if they just put it. If they're like,
I
screw
didn't
it.
think I saw Ren and Stimpy in there. Actually.
No, it said it. It said it.
Okay.
You didn't
Okay,
see him in the
good.
trailer, but it said it. So,
Good.
but yeah, man, I wouldn't doubt it if they they were like, fuck it. And they threw every Nintendo Nickelodeon character they could in it. You know,
Won't be the last time people do that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
what? Oh yeah, no kidding. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
so we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing how it unravels and what we get out of it because I'm interested. So we'll see.
Looks cool.
Me too.
All right, next up, in a tweet from @Stratford87 regarding Battlefield 2042, he says, quote, to clarify, Xbox One and PlayStation 4 will play with each other. Players on PC and Gen 5 consoles exist in a second state of crossplay and won't cross over. Opt out of crossplay and you'll play with players on the same platform, no matter your Battlefield 2042 version. Anre, you really wanted to talk about this. What do we got here? What does this mean?
Basically, for those that don't know, the idea of crossplay is basically playing with somebody or somebody's on a system that is not your own. Cross-gen is playing on a system that's not your own and a generation that's not your own. So basically, what people were hoping, mainly console players and a lot of PC players too, was that PS5, for instance, players could play with Xbox Series X players to raise the player count and everything, and to play with their friends that might have another console, but could opt out of playing with PC. So if they wanted to play with PC people, they could, and everybody play together, or they could say, I don't want to play with PC players, but I do want to play with Xbox Series X players. Good Lord, that name. But that is not the case. People thought that was the case. As far as I could tell, 4 days ago, a lot of websites were running with the fact that that was the case, that you could opt out of just PC but have the other console. That is not the case. If you are on PS5 and you want to play with Xbox Series X guys, you have to play with PC guys or only PS5, and it's the same
all or nothing.
across the board, all or nothing. And this brings up we're entering a place where crossplay is going to be more and more ubiquitous, more and more normalized, and we have to. Everybody wants to play with everybody, and really everybody wants the option, but we have to have the conversation of, okay, we know PC gamers play with mouse and keyboard. We know mouse and keyboard gives you an advantage generally, especially in something like a first-person shooter. Mm-hmm. So do you want to play with PC players when you are at a disadvantage? Yeah. And that's not. Right. I'm not a PC guy, but like that's not an opinion. It doesn't mean they're better. It just means they have an advantage.
They'll need to make some adjustments. I think that's going to come through. Well, a game I'm familiar with, Destiny's, it's opening up crossplay this fall, and with a big update, and they've already said you can opt in or out for PC. So if you don't want to play with PC players, you can just check that box, say no thanks, and just play with other console players. So that is happening on other games. So I think with Battlefield, they're probably going to see how it goes. If the community is upset and if they're like, this sucks, we don't want to play against PC players, they'll probably add that in. I think if people are loud enough about it and let their voice be heard about it, then they're going to be forced to make that kind of change. So, because it can be done, and it might be kind of a pain for them. I'm not sure from the development side what that involves, but yeah, if they have to, they will.
Yeah. I was reading, just to take the other side, I was reading Reddit, and someone was asking like, hey, why do PC players want to play with console players? Is it just to get, is it just to have an easier time, get some cheap kills or whatever? And one guy was like, well, no, we want to have open crossplay, and we don't want it to be optional, so that the developers can actually deal with cheaters in the PC space and not just ignore it like they usually do.
Yeah.
That's what he said, and he's like, well, most players are going to play on console, right? So if they're just like, hey, everything's fine here, and just let over there in the PC space be the Wild West, we don't care, Well,
Yeah, that's a good
if
point.
you have mandatory crossplay with PC, then they can't do that. They actually have to
Keep it in
spend
check.
resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it in check. So, just to play devil's advocate of, I like I said, I think the options are good. I think you should be able to as many options as possible in general with games. And I just
And it can even get a little
want to
more
go
in
the other
depth,
way.
right? You could go, okay, you can opt out of playing with PC players, or you can choose to play with PC players who are only using a controller.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's easy. They could do that. So
Yeah, I I don't
I
know
mean,
if it's easy, but yeah.
and
I don't
there's
see
stuff
why
out.
not. They know when a controller is being used in Steam. And
People can
I would agree with you, but I don't know why they can't just do
you can
opt out of
emulate.
PC at all, and
Yeah.
apparently they're not. So
And you
I would
can
imagine it was easy.
you can emulate a controller too, and I'm sure
Yeah,
people will be doing that, but it'll still eliminate a lot of that kind of stuff. The
well,
shenanigans.
and right now you could emulate it, right? But if they
Yeah.
were really cared about this front and wanted to give PC players to play who wanted to play with console players the ability to, they could make the controller thing happen, right? It
Yeah.
might take a little
Yeah.
time, a little bit of resources, but it's not out of
Mm-hmm.
the ballpark. It's not something I think
Doable.
that would take forever for them to figure out,
yeah.
So.
Yep.
Well, yeah, you talked about the fact that I wanted to talk about this, and Ken, you brought up the Destiny 2 update coming later. I just think this is going to be a conversation that we as gamers are going to have to have.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You
And
know?
I think it's great because if for games like if it's not like a PvP situation, if you're just like wanting to get people together to play campaigns or to play PvE stuff,
There you
that's
go.
great. It's
Yeah.
like all of a sudden you have a lot more choices. Like when you go to look for players to play with, it's like, oh man, now there's a few 100,000 more people that can join your game. So I think that's really awesome.
Yeah. Like Outriders, for instance. We haven't played that in a while, but it was crossplay Anre, and I could play it together. And the thing that resonated there was no PvP. It was a PvE only game, so who cares
Yeah.
who's
Yeah,
using
exactly.
mouse and keyboard or not? So that's a valid point there. You could just have crossplay always for games like that, and that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
More people.
Yeah. Or there's games like oh shoot, with the soccer game.
Rocket League.
Rocket League. Yes, man,
Rocket
it
League.
escaped me. But that's a controller based. Nobody's playing that with mouse and keyboard anyway. So
There are
crossplay
some
doesn't matter.
weird people out there, Ken.
You
There's
can.
some people that play
sure,
mouse and keyboard.
I'm sure there
for
are.
everything.
I'm sure there are. But for me, I tried playing both, and that feels like a controller game for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the crossplay in that, I don't think it doesn't matter.
The difference, though, is there's, to do some of the more advanced stuff, and I played a lot of Rocket League, man. And to do some of the more advanced stuff, the buttons that you have on the controller can do it, but it's more difficult because with a keyboard, there's some specific maneuvers that you can map to keys.
Yeah.
That you can do some of these and abilities that make you do even more advanced moves. So... I don't know, man. I'm sure there are plenty of people playing on mouse and keyboard, and for us, it's like it's a controller game. But then, man, you see some people make some really crazy goals, doing some crazy flying crap. That's because they have Q and E mapped between their W, and they're able to thrust their thrusters in a different way than we can do with a controller. So. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to find some video. I'm sure there's a video of a dude playing with a keyboard. We'll find it. We'll take a look. And
Guarantee
there's some
it.
crazy Rocket League shit, man. And I'm like,
And I guarantee you, he's cheating.
pro or cheating, whatever. Yeah. Cool.
Playing with a mouse and keyboard is tantamount to cheating.
So they say. How do you feel on like Mountain Blade? Do you feel like you're winning because you're cheating?
Well, that's PvE.
So it doesn't matter.
So I am.
can
I mean,
cheat all
I
you
am
want.
using mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
But that's a game. There are a few games I feel like are better with mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
sure.
one of them.
Yep.
A few genres, I would say.
Yeah.
RTS, obviously.
For sure. All right. Well, it's that time. We're ready for the big news.
Yeah.
Has anyone guessed it yet? I don't think they have.
No.
It's not possible.
Would you like a drum roll?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do my best here.
Go ahead. All right. I can't hear it. Louder.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay,
Can't
well,
stand
any
out.
louder and I'll just break my fingers. So.
Okay. Can you guys hear mine?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, we want to give a tip of the crown that will forever resonate as one of the most memorable tip of the crowns in tip of the crown history. A huge tip of the crown goes to Zach the Zeke Oliver for his mega assist and nabbing me an ever elusive PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Boom!
And there was much rejoicing.
Yes.
Yes, Zach, you are
Finally.
the man. You made it happen. I made all these jokes for the longest time about never getting a PS5. I'll never be able to make those jokes ever again, thanks to you. You're the shit, man. You really came through.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you. Tip of the crown, man.
That's
Thank you,
very
Zach.
awesome. Mm.
We salute you.
Any other tip of the crowns? Anything you guys want
Nothing's gonna touch
to
that.
mention
Man.
after I know?
No, man.
We got a mic. We're just gonna end the episode here.
Yeah.
Let's
that's
just
it.
end the
Mic
episode
drop.
here.
Yeah.
All right.
Not even going to mention anything.
All right.
else.
Well, we may be crown king, but everyone's royalty here.
Royalty.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Just kidding. Just kidding. I know you saw the end slide there, but it really wasn't the end. So,
Nice.
yeah, Zach, you're the man. So, moving on. All right. It is time to talk about the new. Oh, first of all, round of applause. We gotta get it to him. Come on. All right. We're talking about the new releases for the next week. Ready?
Do it.
Ready.
All right. Cotton Reboot. PS4 and Switch, July 20th. Chris Tales. PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Stadia, July
Dude
20th.
named Chris telling stories?
Chris Tales. Yeah, he's he's hanging out at the campfire telling stories about how he's always been a Chris and always will be a Chris, Next up, we got, and I'm excited about these ones a little bit, Frostpunk DLCs. There's 3 of them. Frostpunk, the Last Autumn DLC, Frostpunk On the Edge DLC, and Frostpunk The Rifts DLC, PS4, Xbox One, July 21st. And as I told you, I played a little bit of Frostpunk. I played the campaign, beat it, did well. I tried another mission, lost completely, tried it again, lost completely, so I've been a little mad at it. But I'll get back there. And, there's this, endless run where you can go in and just try to survive as long as you possibly can. And it seems like those have been locked behind a DLC, and I think that might be it. So you can't play an endless run unless you get this DLC, is what I'm assuming. But what I'd be really interested in on this game is an endless run, and just how many days can you last? Try to just set a Guinness World Record for Frostpunk's most days lived. I don't know. So that's cool. Next up, we got Last Stop, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, July 22nd. Yeah, it's the last game you'll ever play. Akiba's Trip, Hellbound and Debrief, PS4, Switch, July 23rd. Observer, System Redux, PS4, Xbox One, July 23rd. And last but most certainly not the least, Orcs Must Die, and they always must. It's the third one, by the way. Orcs Must Die! ! 3. PC, PS4, Xbox One, July 23rd. You guys know what this game is? Is it like Lord of the Rings related? Okay.
I always see it on the Steam sale, and I actually looked at buying it one time, and I had it in my cart. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna play
You gave up on it.
I'm not going to play that.
Get out of my cart! No, man, you're out of here. That's funny. All right, well, steals of the week on Steam. We've got Control Ultimate Edition. It's 60% off at $15.99 right now. That's pretty dope. If you haven't played it, go ahead. No Man's Sky is half off at $29.99. It's another cool one. Done a lot of great things. There's a new Prisms update. It's got a lot of stuff in there. You can go check it out. It's great stuff. All right. Epic Store. Free games this week are Abduction from the creators of Myst. If you ever played a Myst game, they're great. I'm sure it's just as good. It looks beautiful. So I'm assuming, to me, it looks like a Myst game, but with really awesome graphics. So
Yeah.
It's free right now. If you're into that kind of thing, go check it out. And Off-World Trading Company, where you either save humanity or turn a profit, but preferably both, is also free. So you can go check that out. Switch. What do we got, Ken? What's on Nintendo?
Nintendo Switch. Well, we still have the Ubisoft sale going on, so everything from last week still on sale there. The Resident Evil sale still going on, and in addition to those, we have the 2K summer sale. So now we have games like Borderlands Collection is $20. So if you have a Switch and want to play Borderlands, That's a pretty good deal. We've got NBA 2K21 is $4.79, which is crazy cheap that's a full $60 game. So if you're interested in NBA 2K, yeah, grab it now. You got PGA Tour 2K21, that one's $20. XCOM 2 is 15. We got the BioShock series. You get the BioShock collection for $20. So that's BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite. So that's a pretty good deal.
Wow, yeah, that's very good.
Yep.
All right, PlayStation, Anre, what do you got over there?
Oh man, PlayStation should.
I'm gonna actually start
going first.
listening to you now. Usually I just tone you out. I'm tired of it. You know? But now that I got a PS5 on the way, I'm like,
Relevant.
Anre, what's going on, man? What's over there on PlayStation, bro? I want to know.
Well, PlayStation should really start going first because man, these deals are not as good as some of these other ones. But
Okay.
Dreams is half off. Used to be $20, now it is $10. UFC 4. I always like, I'm not a UFC fan, but whenever I see a game that I know that it's like full price, it's like normally still full price and it's half off or more, I like to tell you guys. So UFC 4 is half off, is full price usually, and now it's $30. That's half of 60.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Crew 2, if you have a PS Plus account, which you really should, there's really no reason not to. It is 80% off. It is normally $50 and it's $10 right now. So, really no better time to get into The Crew
Yeah.
2. A game right after David's Heart, Doom Eternal.
It's a good game.
Get the deluxe edition, which is a cool $90 typically, and now this one's around $29.
Shocked.
So,
Wow.
yeah, that's a good one.
That's good.
And ended with a nice anime game, weeb game, as some people would say. A game I haven't played, but I've heard a lot of good things about. Sakura Wars, the deluxe edition, which is normally $80, is 65% off. And that's around $27. Very good game from what I hear and from what I can see. Maybe I'll scoop it up, but we'll see.
Okay.
If
Awesome.
you were looking forward to it, check it out. Those are the highlights, but there are many more in the basically everything I've mentioned the past few weeks is still on sale. Still get a whole bunch of other games on sale, the ones that are the usual suspects. So go ahead, cop those.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, lords and ladies, that sums it up for today's episode. If you enjoyed, please like, share, rate, and subscribe. Also, tell everyone. Tell them.
Comment
Tell
on the YouTube videos.
Spread
And
the
all
word.
of
You see
that.
somebody you just cross somebody on the street who you don't know, he's a stranger, say, hey, go listen to Crown King. They're awesome. Go check them out.
Yeah.
You know?
Quick
Yeah.
reminder, if you are like David and you just got your PS5, what's even better than these rinky-dink sales is you can get the PlayStation Plus collection.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I forgot about
all
that.
of
I'm
those
excited
games
now.
up.
Wow, man.
We'll add them all to
Tile
your
games.
library, and they will be waiting
Yep.
for you on a rainy day.
Some
Yeah,
of like
that's great.
some of the best video games you can play. Honestly.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
really. Yeah,
I swear to God, those are some of the best games out there, and they're just giving them to you free. So
yep.
get them.
Well, we may be Crown King, but everyone's royalty here.
It's royalty here.
Have a good night, everyone.